Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Silver, the purest of the pure. Let's explore! I'm going to be sharing with you a story, something that is a little different for this channel. Although I do like to be very diverse in terms of covering topics related to precious metals, and sometimes I talk about even base metals on this channel. This is something a little bit different. I think that my regular viewers who watch my channel every day will appreciate the variety that is on this channel. I do believe it is one of the most diverse in the community. There's a lot to talk about with regards to precious metals, and I don't want to just talk about the same old thing. I like to talk about stories as well, and this is one that I think is quite inspiring and gives us a perspective on silver that will, I think, help us to appreciate it a little bit more, especially in the world of mining. This is a story that comes to us from the Aspen Times, and it is by Tim Willoughby from Legends and Legacies. It's called Willoughby, the purest of the pure silver. My father was captivated by mining and miners beginning in high school. Unlike most youth his age who had little interest in their elders' stories, father hung on to every word if it was about the Aspen mines. One of his neighbors was Bill Brown. Most people called him Big Bill, due to his extraordinary size and strength. Brown, born in the Shetland Islands, came to Aspen from Leadville at the age of 21 in 1892. He worked in a number of Aspen mines, mostly the Smuggler and the Durant, but for a short time in the Franklin mine on Aspen Mountain near the end of its 15-year history. What excited my father was the story of some unusual silver ore. Brown told him that at the very bottom of the mine, at that time, the shaft was down around 1,000 feet. A black substance was oozing into the bottom workings. When it was assayed, the mine discovered it was an unusual form of silver known as argentite that contained 3,000 ounces of silver per ton. At the time, Brown was making $2.50 for the 10-hour day. Mines, when they found such high-grade ore, would often select a trusted miner to mine it. They paid him an extra 50 cents an hour to take out the precious black mud. Argentite, also called silver glance, comes in several different forms, but its major characteristics are that it is usually 87% silver, and the rest is sulfur. Now I'm going to stop right there and show you that this is a 90% silver coin. Of course, this was in the United States of America where these silver coins were produced. Of course, the balance is not sulfur by any stretch, but it is indeed copper, and maybe trace other metals as well that give it hardness. But think about that, to find silver that pure in really the wild in these mines is quite something, quite an achievement for sure. So this argentite is very similar in quality to native silver that Aspen would sometimes ship directly to the mint. The Franklin claim was filed in 1879 at the very beginning of Aspen by Maurice Hayes. It hit payable ore early and was sold to D.R.C. Brown, who was consolidating claims around his Aspen mine. In 1888, a rich section produced 9 tons of ore that yielded $6,000, or $182,000 in today's dollars. It was one of the first to explore at greater depths, but that meant it was one of the first to encounter water problems. The Franklin shaft was flooded several times, the first in 1889 when pumping equipment failed and 75 feet of water accumulated at the bottom of the shaft. After pumping out the water, the mine encountered extraordinary ore with a 90-ton shipment returning $106,000 or $2,800,000 in today's money. That would mean all of it was in the 80 to 90% pure silver category. So you think about it, if it's 80 to 90%, that means that the highest grade would have the same purity as this 90% silver coin minted by the United States government in 1925. What an amazing story to find silver in that grade. D.R.C. Brown placed a specimen of that ore in his office for people to see. The Aspen Times billed the Franklin at the time the world's best silver mine. It described the specimen as so nearly pure it looks very much like a piece of a bar or bullion. Indeed. Now this piece of poured silver is the very first piece of silver that I had poured in my entire life, and it holds a special place in my heart. But this is 3/9 fine silver, and it is quite something else. But I would love to see that silver for sure, to see what it looks like. But my guess is it would look very much like a bar of bullion. By the way, for those who don't know, silver found in pure form has a grayish look to it because, well, the other impurities that are in it are just enough to color it kind of that grayish color. And we know how silver tarnishes as well, certainly out in nature with the other things like sulfur or other material with it. You can guess that you're probably not going to find shiny silver out there even back then in the late 1800s. A 175-ton shipment in 1890 was similar to the quality that Brown mined with 3,000 ounces per ton silver. At that time, it was the deepest mine in Aspen. The water once again created havoc, closing the mine for nearly half a year. And that story ends right there. There's not much more to it. It just basically the culmination of it is the purity of the silver found in that mine. And I think what's so special about this story is that it was so long ago, and you never hear about this kind of thing these days, about finding that compact amount of silver per ore. You know, the ore with that a ratio of silver for the ore, and to be able to extract it at such a profitable rate. And the point of the story is that was then, and you know what? This is now. Now, from 1900 on up, though those kinds of silver mines were few and far between, from 1900 up, there was an exponential growth in the amount of silver mining in the world. And why is that? Because there was great demand for silver, especially for photography, which was starting to really gain ground at that time. And so therefore, with that increase in demand for this shiny white metal, well, increased mines and mining technology has gotten to the point where they're able to pull more out of the ground for a lot less money. But of course, obviously, that means that there's much less of the higher grade silver out there. Now, fast forward to 2021, technology is only improving, and there are many mining companies and exploration companies that are looking to find the next strong vein, even for primary silver mining. But mostly, silver is mined as a byproduct of other metals. So it is a rare find to see primary silver mining companies in operation. In fact, I think it is that silver that probably has a sunset of some amount of time. May it be 20, 30, 40, or some odd years, no one really knows for these primary silver mines. However, technology will still continue to expand and grow, and we will see silver mined as a byproduct of other metals. But nonetheless, it is a fascinating tale to see how silver mining was back in those days and what was considered the purest of the pure. Now we have the ability to refine silver to 5/9 status, but we don't really see any of that in bullion form these days. There was a mint called the Royal Mint, which created some silver rounds that had different themes on them, from Islamic themes to cats and birds. There's I guess a kind of a toucan or some sort of bird that was created, but I don't have any of those. Those were 5/9 pure silver, and they were assayed and found to be as such 5/9 pure. But the finest silver is 4/9 pure, and that is very common these days. 4/9 pure silver. 3/9 is definitely the standard for bullion, but nonetheless, it's hard to believe that not long ago 90% was considered very nice, very pure silver indeed. But of course, they wanted to give it that strength, and that's why they added that copper in there too, the assay it. So there you have it, an interesting and fascinating tale. I hope you found this video insightful. I know videos like this that I don't get quite as many views, but I do like to do something a little different. And if you found this video insightful, I hope you will share it among other social media platforms. And I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, hit that notification bell so that you can be apprised of the latest video that makes its way across your device. Comment and subscribe.